Hello, friends. Welcome back to the podcast. Today is episode 500. We've come a long way. I just want to say thank you to every guest that has come on the podcast. I will always be grateful for your time. Thank you to all of you who have been listening over the years, whether it's on jamieorque.com, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. Thank you. I truly appreciate all of you. This has been a crazy ride, but we're far from done. We have more podcasts booked. We're not stopping anytime soon. It's just a cool milestone to hit 500. So I just wanted to go out of my way to say thank you to all of you. But before we get into today's guests, Louisville's right around the corner. Going to Louisville at the end of the month. I'm very excited to see all my friends in Louisville. I'm excited to see my friends get married. It's been a good time. I've never been to Louisville in the summer. I've only been to Louisville when it's cold. So I'm very excited to see what the city is like when it's warm. I got about 110 days till I go back to Korea. You know, that's all I think about. I have my Airbnb booked, the flights booked. I'm just waiting for like cool concerts to get announced. The only thing that's announced right now is the like Mellon Music Awards, which is cool. But I'm open for like a cool concert or like a cool college festival to go to. But nothing in the books right now. But there's always cool stuff going on the time that I'm going to be there, so I'm very much looking forward to that. More vlogs. If you're into K-pop, if you're into me going to the mall, or if you're into me doing random stuff, go to the YouTube, subscribe there. Constant vlogs coming out. But on today's episode, we got to track down our good friend Chris Westphal. Plays drums for Playing for Keeps and Hammerhead out of Colorado. Two awesome bands. I love what Chris and his friends are doing to support the scene out there. If you're not familiar with Playing for Keeps or Hammerhead, I highly suggest you hit pause, go boot up your Spotify, Tidal, Bandcamp, YouTube, Apple Music, whatever, and listen to what they have out now. There's new music coming very soon from both bands. I'm excited for that. But today we had to track down Chris to talk about UFC 329, which was an eventful card. Very good from top to bottom. It's rare that we have a card that stacked, but obviously it was International Fight Week. And it might seem normal because we're coming off of UFC Freedom 250 straight into UFC 329, which was International Fight Week, but it's not always that good. So to have back-to-back events with stacked cards from top to bottom feels really good. Feels like the good old days of MMA. But UFC 329 wrapped up and Conor McGregor goes out the way that he does. Could have never predicted that. I didn't think anything was weird until Bruce Buffer was announcing his name and he was just kind of staring off into the distance, didn't look excited to be there. I was like, oh, that's a little strange. Maybe it's just surreal for him because it's been 5 years. But that was, for me, the first time where I felt kind of like something doesn't feel right. And he throws the first jumping kick, slips. And I'm like, okay. Robert Whittaker was having some, issues with slipping. Maybe it's just the mat. Throws the second one, and I'm like, okay, something's weird. Why is he trying this technique? This is freaking weird. And when he doesn't get off the ground, I'm like, all right, something's up. And clearly, Max could see it. He was telling the ref, like, hey, like he doesn't look like he wants to be in here. And the ref told him to keep fighting. Conor stands up, and the fight just ends. Thumbs up with his knee. We're not sure if it's his MCL, his ACL, but clearly something happened to his knee, I think it happened like from him leaving his locker room to the walkout. Somewhere in between there, something happened, because there's like that footage of him in the prep area where he's like having trouble taking off his shoes. I don't think he showed up to Las Vegas injured, but just a crazy way to end the UFC 329 card. But I had a great time sitting down with Chris and just talking MMA, because I love MMA. It's one of the few things that I'm obsessed with. So getting to nerd out and just talking about last night's card was fun. I'll do more MMA shows. I know this is the first one in a long time, but I'll bring you more MMA shows, because I could talk about MMA for days. But for anyone who's interested in UFC 329 and our thoughts about the future for everyone on the card, I hope you enjoy this episode as much as I did. So please strap in, enjoy this conversation. Without further ado, welcome Chris Westphal to the show. Recording. Welcome back to the podcast, Chris. How's it going?
Good. How are you, Jamie?
I'm doing good. I didn't tell you this beforehand, but in like the numbered sequence of the podcast, this is actually going to be episode 500. And took a month off. I was just chilling for vacation, and I just figured, what better way to come back than because of a Conor McGregor card. So I just reached out to you, and I'm like, are you down to do a podcast? And you were down, so I'm happy that you're down to run it.
500. What an honor. Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome. But
damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of podcasts, but it's all good,
Yep.
Very fun. But okay, so last night's card, in my opinion, it was a really good lineup of fights, but I feel like it just, like, the ending was just so terrible. Like, I could not believe, because we were getting fed, right? The fans, we were so excited, but then just the way the card ended, it was totally unexpected. The buildup was just, so crazy, but then for it to end with an injury, it was just really sad.
The most anticlimactic, one of the up there for like top 5 most anticlimactic fights ever, especially again leading up to it. How many like knockouts there were leading up to it. I was like, dude, this is going to be like a barn burner. But yeah, it was quite the bummer.
Yeah, but obviously we'll build up to that. I wanted to, start in the middle of like the prelims. There was a pretty big debut for a new heavyweight, Gable Steveson. He fought Alicia Ellison, which Gable was like the lock of the night, right? Because I use the platform Kalshi to make predictions or bets, whatever you want to call it, and he was like when I did my little parlay, he was like a 92% like to win. So I was like, I followed his his pro MMA career. He's only had 4 fights now at this point, so there's not too much there. But just because of his background in wrestling and who he's training with, it's like, all right, this guy is probably going to be the future of the heavyweight division. So I was pretty confident in betting him, but for him to show up to the UFC and have the performance that he did, I was like, okay, cool. He didn't get caught with the UFC jitters, because that's a thing I've seen, fighters with more experience than him suffer from that. So for him to be able to come in and perform, I was like, pretty happy with that.
That's quite the day. Like coming out with that debut, like you couldn't ask for anything better. A first round knockout like that. Like that's crazy. 4 fights. That's insane. That's literally insane. And he looked good. He weathered some storm too. He got lit up a little bit, but he was able to like come back.
Yeah, and for me, I think he's really capable, right? Because obviously, like, John Jones in his corner, Greg Jackson, so many talented people in his corner, and himself having so much talent, and who knows where his ceiling is. But for me, like this is probably like the worst, kind of like situation that heavyweight division's been in, because there's not like a whole lot of like good talent. But with Gable, like I don't want to rush him to the top. I kind of want to see them go like the Khamzat Chimaev route, where they keep him busy, but it's like a gradual rise in competition versus like what they did with like Bo, right? Because Bo was like, like Bo's the future, but then they rushed him and he ran into Rene de Ridder, and that didn't really go his way, even though like he's doing well now. He's definitely bounced back, but I don't want to see Gable have to stumble because he got pushed too fast.
Well, it's kind of like what happened with Cody Garbrandt, you know what I mean? Even though I know he was the fight right before the Gable fight, but yeah, when he first was coming up, they were just shoving him right up to the front. And don't get me wrong, he like rose to that occasion, but his downfall has been like one of like my hardest to watch, because I kind of like Cody. So yeah, I really hope they don't do that with Gable Stevenson either. So yeah, because they have a tendency, UFC has a tendency to do that, you know what I mean? Like they, especially like you said, in heavyweight, everybody in that weight class is like a freaking dinosaur, you know what I mean? So yeah. So it's nice to have some like fresh blood and seeing somebody like that. But yeah, I hope they give him like a nice little like rising in a way more like a little bit slower, like you're saying.
And I feel like we have to talk about Cody now that you brought him up. It's the like weirdest downfall, right? Because you look how he dismantled Dominic Cruz, who's like arguably like one of the best bantamweights to ever step foot in like the octagon. And then
like how did he do that? You know what I mean? Like it was like great, because it was like Dominic was a puzzle that nobody could ever figure out. Like Uriah Faber spent years trying to figure that out, and Cody found a way, which was, and he made it look easy when he won that fight. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're totally fine. Yeah, it's strange. You're right. Like Team Alpha Male had that rivalry. Like they were sending people up, like Joseph Benavidez. Like nobody could beat Dominic Cruz, but I guess like lightning struck for Cody that night, and he was able to beat Dominic. But I don't know if it was like the wars and him taking so much damage against TJ, where like his chin just left him. But it's just like, how does someone have like that much skill, but then it just kind of like, not able to show up when it needs to? It's the weirdest thing to me. Like when I watch him, because it's just like, he's like changed camps, like he moved to Vegas. But like what happened to him? Like when I look at Cody Garbrandt, it's like, it's the strangest thing to me to see a champion, and it like, and no diss to the like, the fight last night, Yanez, but he's not getting beat by like the world beaters, like the top 5 of his division. So it's just so weird to see him slip and fall like so fast. It wasn't like a gradual thing. It's just like he just like dropped off. It was like the weirdest thing.
Right. Like I was hoping he would have like an exit, kind of like Cub Swanson, like in a way, you know what I mean? Like being able to like win his last couple fights, or like Jim Miller, you know what I mean? Like he's long in the tooth too, and he's just running through guys. But I keep thinking that Cody might be that guy and they like come back, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like he's just a dude that I've always just kind of like low key rooted for. He's kind of a good looking dude too. So.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him be able to have like more success, but it just doesn't seem like it's there.
Yeah, and my wife gets crazy. She's like, I always talk about how good looking of a guy Cody is, and she's like, "You always say that." I'm like, "He is a good looking dude." For some reason, what makes me want to root for him, I don't know.
Yeah, no, he was one of those fighters that had that like David August sponsor for like his like suits, which not every fighter gets.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, it's just sad.
It is.
I don't know. Obviously, like nobody wants to go out on a loss, but for him, it's just like, dude, do you really need another knockout?
Did you also see that he took off his gloves when he was walking around the octagon? And I don't know what that I don't know if that means retirement for him or not, but probably. Yeah. I'd probably say, yeah, you should hang it up, dude.
Yeah, I would hope so. Like in the post-fight press conference, Dana White did allude that Cody did talk to Sean Shelby, but he didn't really elaborate too much. But he said there was a conversation, so maybe maybe that's what's on the horizon for Cody.
Right. I'd say he should hang it up, especially after how many knockouts he's had just recently.
Yeah, because I love MMA. I when I'm a fan of a fighter, I'm there. Like I follow them till the bitter end, and I just always pray that like these fighters that I like Cody don't end up like one of my favorite fighters ever, BJ Penn, right? BJ Penn is such a legend, but then when you look at like the like tail end of his career and it's like the fights that he was doing and the way he was losing, it's like, dude, why? Like there was a time where it's like, all right, BJ, like maybe like it's time to go, but he just stuck around too long, and like he's just become like the story, like the horror stories. Like you don't want to end up like BJ, and it's sad.
And it's only getting worse. Like every time I hear anything from that like camp or whatever, it's like again, like still just he's like losing outside the arena somehow too.
Yeah. And it's just like I just pray that all my favorite fighters follow the path at GSP, right? Like the complete opposite. GSP went out a champion. He's doing great outside the octagon. He's still around, and that's it's a sad way to go sometimes, but it's just like I just hope my favorite fighters kind of stay away and just follow the GSP path. That's what I always hope.
100%. Some guys just don't know when to quit, though. But it's like Bobby Green, though. He's again kind of long in the tooth too, but he's still out there doing it, which I'm sure we're going to get to eventually.
Yeah, we'll get to him. But last fight on the prelims. Robert Whitaker, what a G. I love Robert Whitaker. I was very I was bummed that he didn't have like a great end to his middleweight run. Obviously he ran into some tough opponents. All right, like Dricus is still up there. I feel he was really competitive, and then the second Izzy fight. But for him to move up to light heavyweight is crazy, because remember he fought at welterweight and then he went up to middleweight, and now here's his like third weight class, and
he was thick, boy. He looking thick.
Yeah,
he looking thicker than a king size Snickers, boy.
I don't know if you remember, like in between, or like after round one, he told his corner, he's like, "Yo, like I'm fatigued," and you're just like, like when I heard that, I'm like, "Oh no!" Like Bobby Knuckles, like. Round one just ended, and he kind of got bullied. He was getting like wrestled, and Nikita Krylov was making him carry all of his weight. But to hear him say, "I'm fatigued," I was like, "Please, Robert, come back. Do not lose this fight."
When you're in the corner and you're already saying that after round one, that's like not good, But he had good head movement. Like that was the one thing that I noticed. Like throughout the first round, like he wasn't really getting. The shots weren't landing like good, but then, Krylov was like definitely clinching with him. And like you said, just kind of weighing on him a bit. But I did notice that his head movement was good. He was still in it, So, yeah.
Yeah. I really like the advice that his corner gave him. There's like, yo, stop backing up. You need to start moving around. And he was obviously able to have a better round two and then finish the fight in round three, which was
Did you notice that he kept lifting his right leg like in a really weird way?
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, they I think Daniel Cormier had asked like Joe Rogan, like, why is he doing that? And Rogan was saying that he was trying to get the moisture from the back of his calf on the bottom of his foot so he can get traction on the mat, because like I guess people kept slipping. Yeah, no. Like when Rogan mentioned that, I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense because when I was seeing that, I'm like, is something wrong with his leg or his ankle or something?
Yeah. I was like, I thought it was like, I don't know if it was like led up to the event of the main event, but I was like, damn, there's something up with his knee, because I do that with my knee when my knee hurts.
Okay.
Like I'll do that same shit. Like if I've been spin kicking too much or whatever, I'll do that little lift, to try and like get my knee to not hurt or whatever. So I was like, but yeah, I think that Joe Rogan did explain that he was trying not to slip, which was just a weird little tick that I've never seen anyone do. I've never seen that technique, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious who they give Whitaker next, because he mentioned that he doesn't have that much time left. So I don't know if he's going to shoot to the top, because honestly, light heavyweight's not the deepest division right now. So I think 2 more fights, he could get a title shot.
I think he could too, especially with his name and how much stock he has in his name after a win like yesterday.
Yeah.
And the thing, like with Joe Rogan, I noticed in the beginning, he was just talking so much smack, you know what I mean? Just talking bad about Bobby, you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, come on, like give this guy a chance. I know he might be winded, but you never know when a guy can just come back, and he did.
Yeah, no, for sure. I felt like, round 1, because I was obviously rooting for Robert Whitaker. Round 1, I was like definitely discouraged, but as the fight went on, he definitely built his momentum back up and was able to, finish Nikita Krylov, and it looked pretty nasty too.
Bombs, bro! Landed some bombs.
Yeah, and surprisingly, like his jaw didn't break. I guess he must. Yeah, they gave him like. They gave Dana White in the post-press conference like a medical update on Nikita, because somebody asked, and yeah, they said his jaw wasn't broken, but it's crazy to like imagine getting hit that hard and thinking that your jaw is broken when in fact it was completely fine.
Was it like dislocated? Did they not?
No, they said,
because he was holding his jaw as if it was like,
yeah,
and the way he was holding his way that his mouth was open, I was like, yeah, his jaw's like,
yeah. They just said it wasn't broken, so dislocated, maybe.
That's probably what it was. And sometimes I heard dislocations hurt worse than actual breaks. I wouldn't know. I've only broken bones. I've dislocated anything, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, Nikita Krylov, according to the meta rankings, wasn't ranked. So I think you can throw Robert Whitaker, like maybe like a Navajo Sterling, which would be a really tough fight, but it would be a fun fight.
Right.
And then I think somebody else, like, so that Navajo Sterling is like ranked 12. And if he could like overcome that, maybe then somebody in the top 10. And then if he can overcome that, then a title shot, I think that'd be like a cool path to kind of cap off like Robert Whitaker's like UFC career.
Yeah, I'm looking to see who's in the light heavyweight rankings right now.
Yeah, because there's a couple fighters that are booked, but there's also like a couple fighters that like aren't even in the division anymore. So these meta rankings are
right. Yeah, because they have Alex Pereira, but he's retired now, right?
No, he came out recently and said that his next fight's going to be at heavyweight. Like he's trying to come back. I think he said he's trying to come back like November.
Okay. God dang. Jamal Hill might be a good one, or even Roundtree.
Well, no, Jamal Hill also heavyweight now.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. He moved up, and then but Khalil and Ankalaev are booked for.
Right.
I forgot they're going to headlight a card coming up, which is a pretty insane fight. Yeah, pretty soon.
Yeah. Feel like he's gonna win. I want him to win.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Khalil. I don't like Magomed Ankalaev, so hopefully he can just get a knockout and just move on.
Yep. Nope. Yeah, there's some good fights that could be made, especially if our boy Khalil wins. That might be a pretty good fight if they fought.
Jeez, Bobby versus Khalil, that'd be insane.
No.
But okay, first fight on the main card. You mentioned, King Green earlier, but King Green went up against Terrence McKinney, and you're right. If you look at King Green's performance, like he's on a streak right now, which is really good. But not that long ago, he lost to Paddy Pimblett, right? He got choked out, and then he got a crazy, he got knocked out by a crazy spinning heel kick by Mauricio Hufi, which at that point, it's like, wow, 2 devastating losses in a row. Like, it might be it for King Green. But then he's been able to bounce back. Now he's on a 4-fight winning streak. He beat Lance Gibson, and then a lot of people weren't counting him out, or people were counting him out for the Zell Huber fight, because Zell Huber was like this, like new up and comer, and people thought he was like the future, but Bobby Green was able to stop him. And I didn't really give Jeremy Stevens that much of a chance, just because I don't really believe in his commitment to MMA, because he's bouncing back between, bare knuckle, MMA, and I just wish he would pick a lane. But for this Terrence McKinney fight, it was pretty interesting. I didn't pick either fighter in this fight just because I didn't know who was going to win, but it was interesting to see it be so personal for King Green, because obviously he was like, yo, like, we're supposed to be homies. Like, you're never supposed to like accept a fight against your homie. So as soon as he got word that Terrence McKinney accepted the fight against him, he's like, all right, it's on, like, fuck you. And he took it very personally, and he carried that all the way to the finish, which was crazy.
It was. I even texted you before the fight, and I'm like, this one's gonna be crazy. And I had another friend text me, and they're like, who do you got? Because I'm usually pretty good about like who's gonna win, and I'm like, this could literally go 50-50, and it really did, because like Terrence McKinney was laying into Bobby Green. Like he was. It looked like it was over. Like one of the fights earlier, they stopped a fight way sooner than what happened, but they just let it go. And he's King Green came back somehow. So it was a literal slobber knocker, man. Like they were going at it. Like there was like almost no technique at all. It was just swinging for the fences.
Yeah, when Terrence McKinney was mounted like on King Green and was like hitting him, I thought the ref was going to stop it, because he was like pretty much flattened out, was absorbing so many strikes. I was like, no way is it going to go out like this. But props to the ref, let it continue, and King Green was able to come back. And I was kind of surprised, because like, I don't know if you remember like that final sequence, like they're both standing up, he landed that kick to the body, and then it seemed like a delayed reaction when McKinney went down, because like when he went down, I'm like, oh shit, like he needs to pounce on him. And the ref, once again, kudos to the ref, he let it, I think, go long. He gave McKinney like ample time to show like, hey, if you're still in this fight, like you gotta move. And it just so happens that like it ended at like 4 minutes and 59 seconds into the round, so there's 1 second left. I think the ref made the right call.
100%. Yeah, even the fight before that people were arguing that it ended early. Again, just like some of those younger fighters need to just keep their health more than anything. But this one, I'm glad they I don't know, for whatever reason, just kept letting it go. Like especially with Bobby Green almost out.
Yeah.
But no, this was the right call when Terrence.
Yeah, but my thing is like, where does King Green go from here? Because lightweight's pretty interesting, to be honest.
Pretty stacked one, right?
Yeah, because you got Gaethje at the top, who still won't commit if he's gonna fight again, which is like the weirdest thing. It's like, dude, like you have to fight again. You just beat like who people were like touting as like the next GOAT. You have to. Or does he do a GSP and just bounces? You know what I mean? Because again, Justin's a little older. He's on the last legs of his career. Like, does he want to go out? If I'm being honest, I think Justin knows that his clock has run out, because Sean O'Malley, talked about
Ilya Taporia in that Justin Gaethje fight, and he said, "Look, yo, if Ilya Taporia would have just stepped back after he dropped him with that liver shot, Justin Gaethje would have been on the ground paralyzed, and the ref would have stopped the fight because he wouldn't have been able to move or get up, and the fight would have been called there." So Sean O'Malley was basically saying, yeah, I think Ilya Taporia won that fight. He just lost it for himself. But when you look at the rest of the like lightweights coming up, like, Mauricio Hufi, I think he beats Gaethje. Max Holloway has already beat Justin Gaethje. I think Armin Sarukian beats Justin Gaethje. Charles Oliveira. There's like, it doesn't get easier.
Dude, yeah, this is stacked, bro. Yeah, Charles Oliveira. Yeah, I don't see him. I don't know if Bobby could get past that.
Yeah. Maybe give him, I don't know. Give him a fun fight. Give him like
Dan Hooker. Has he already fought him?
I would like to see a Dan Hooker King Green fight.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, but also
Dan's another guy that's like, I want to see win, and he kind of, again, his career's a little weird too. Like when he wins, like it's like by like miles, you know what I mean? Then when he loses, it's like usually like the biggest bum out ever,
Yeah, but I feel like,
I don't know.
I hate to say, but I feel like, Hooker's kind of already like reached his potential, right?
Right.
Because he's on the 2 fights, skid. His last win was a good one against Gamrot, who's about to fight pretty soon. But once again, I just think the fighters above him aren't good matchups. Like, they're just way more skilled.
That's why Bobby Crane and him should come.
Yeah, it'd be a fun fight. That'd be a fight where it would be nice. I don't think they would try to take it to the ground.
No, they'd just throw bombs.
Yeah, and then McKinney, he's still young. He could bounce back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's got plenty of time in his career. Yeah. And I think at one point he'll probably be like a title contender. If not, I don't know if he has the ability to go all the way and win a championship or whatever, or win the belt, but I don't know. But I feel like he could be definitely like a top 5 kind of guy,
Yeah.
So, especially with his story, his comeback story, with everything, that dude's went through. So, and I'm one for an underdog like that,
Hey, talk about a comeback story. What about Brandon Royval?
I see what you did there.
Yeah, this guy, major props to him taking the short notice fight against Joshua Van, because not many people would have, right? They would just, a lot of people, probably would have turned it down because Van was on a tear. So for him to take that fight and be competitive, right? It went to the judges. That was a really fun fight, but he lost that one, and then he lost his next one to who's arguably the number 1 contender, Manel Cape, right? Who just won recently,
right?
So for him to come back and fight this, people were looking at as like the next contender, Loner Kavanaugh. I was just like, man, I don't know if that's a good matchup, because like if I'm being honest, Loner wasn't really on my radar until he showed up late notice and beat Brandon Moreno. Like, and the way
that's my boy too.
Yeah, I love Brandon Moreno. So for him,
I love that dude.
So for him to show up and have that kind of performance against Brandon Moreno, I was like, damn, that's crazy. So for him to, show up against a Brandon Royval, it's like, man, are they feeding Brandon Royval to the woods? Or are they trying to push like the future? Because, that's the nature of the business, right? Like, these new guys build their names off of like the people on their way out. But Brandon Royval, he proved that no, like nobody's making a name off of me tonight, and it was a crazy fight because
dude,
he
got his bell rung a few times. I'm like, dude, he's almost out.
Dude, round two,
a couple times.
Round two, when he got dropped, I was just like, this is it. But
yeah.
But he was able to just like, he stumbled, just fell to his back and like was ready to, have Loner in his guard. And it was pretty insane.
It was, especially, I don't know, rooting for Brandon. He's a Denver boy, so I gotta root for him. And I used to work with one of his cousins as well. So I have to root for that dude extra hard. So when he won yesterday, I was fucking stoked. Especially by rear naked choke. It was awesome. Especially rocking him beforehand too. So
yeah, like that final sequence when like at first he had it like over like his jaw, but then you just watch it slide into place, and I was just like, like this is it. And it didn't seem like Loner was gonna tap. It seemed like he was just gonna let himself go out, but in the end he tapped. But really crazy fight. So
it's dope.
Yeah.
Kavanaugh did, land like a lot of good shots. Like I said, like he rung Royval's bell a few times.
Well, round three, they both like hurt each other, which was just like an insane sequence because like it was just round three, the fight was going like in either direction. It was like holy shit, like who's gonna win this fight?
Especially in that weight class, that usually doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like they're able to just absorb the shots.
Yeah, like flyweight's not known for fighters having power like that.
Right, like Mighty Mouse. Watching him, you're like, dude, you get knocked out, but he's just swinging that hard the whole fight. But no one ever would get knocked out. Usually go like 5 rounds, so many times. But boy, these guys were swinging for the fences.
Yeah, really fun to watch.
It was
really great fight. And and I think they won fight of the night.
I think so too.
Yeah. Okay, so the next fight we move up to bantamweight. This one bummed me out because I'm like, I'm such a Corey Sandhagen fan, but also at the same time, another Denver boy for you. Mm-hmm. But then also like I'm such a fan of the gym that Mario Bautista comes from because he trains at the lab in Arizona, and like one of my favorite fighters ever, Benson Henderson, comes from there. And like years ago, I ran into the head coach at Disneyland, which was crazy because like I was in line for like Pirates of the Caribbean, and like the line was like snaking, and like we're like crossing paths, and he was wearing like his gym shirt, and I was like, oh, that is definitely him, and he's with his family, and I was like, I don't want to be too weird, so like as we were passing, I'm like, yo, coach. And he like looks at me, and I was just like, yo, I love Benson Henderson, and shout out Sean O'Malley. Cause this was back like when Sean O'Malley like used to train there. It was like pretty brief. And he like shook my hand. He was like, dude, thank you so much. And I just left it at that because I don't, like I said, he was with his family like on vacation. I wasn't trying to like bother him too much, but I just had to let him know that like I just love Benson Henderson.
You were trying to punish him too hard.
Yeah, not too hard. I could have talked to him for hours, but I just had to let him know that I just love Benson Henderson. And at the time, like Sean O'Malley was like a like a prospect coming up, and he had like a lot of like potential. So. It was just cool. But yeah, so that's why I was torn because like I just love both sides of this fight.
Right. And did you see the video that speaking of Sean O'Malley, did you see the video that he posted?
No.
Yeah. He showed how to land a switch kick properly and land it and not hurt your knee. You got to see it, dude.
Oh yeah, I got to watch that. But
yeah, when we're done here, go see it. He's you can tell he's really bummed, but he's like, this is how you do a switch kick properly.
Who were you rooting for? Obviously, was it for the local guy Corey or?
Oh, Corey for sure. I love Corey. I have to always root for my Denver dudes.
Man, Corey, he's. And like I said, I love Corey Sandhagen, but it's just, it just seems like he always falls short at like the worst times, dude. It's like these fights, like the fights,
biggest fights, he just falls apart. I don't know what it is.
Me either.
He just can't do it. He just I don't know. He gets himself there, and when he gets himself there, he looks great on the way up. And then when he finally gets to that point, it's like, bro, come on, man. Like that dude was Batista was just chewing his leg up, bro. And he just had nothing. I've seen Corey check those leg kicks. You know what I mean? I've seen him fight a guy like that before, and he has an answer for it, but for whatever reason, he didn't have an answer.
Well, I think his knee got messed up because of I remember at the end of round one, it was that submission attempt.
That's right.
Yeah, because the broadcast cut, and it didn't show him getting up and walking back to his corner, initially, but I think somewhere in round two, they referenced it again and they brought up the clip. But when he got up after the bell, he was limping, he was walking weird.
That's right. Which,
to me, I was like, how did he let that happen? Because he has trained with, Ryan Hall, who's a master of leg locks, and he's been in those, he knows how to handle himself in those positions. So I just don't know how he let Mario get him that position, and I feel like he was just compromised.
And Corey's ground game is amazing. Again, I've seen him get out of worse things.
Yeah, and he hurt TJ Dillashaw's knee. He hurt Davison Figueiredo's knee. So he has experience down there. So I just I was just kind of confused on how he got in that situation where it's just wow, now you're on the receiving end of your knee getting messed up. It was a bummer.
It was the beginning of the end for him there, But I mean, for Mario, he had his ground game looked awesome. He was literally at one point just ragdolling Corey, and I mean, good on Corey for not not getting knocked out or choked out or whatever the case. He went all 3 rounds, which is, big ups to that, I suppose. But yeah, it just wasn't his night, I suppose. Just think Mario got the best of him.
Yeah, but now I'm just curious, where does both of them go? Because Corey, was ranked 4th, Mario ranked 5. Do they just swap spots? Do we see? I don't know who we see. Do because Merab is gonna get the next shot. Yeah. They're just waiting on Jan to come back because he was injured. He's recovering from injury. I don't know if they're gonna do Umar, Mario. They should do Umar, Mario, O'Malley, Sandhagen.
Yeah, you don't think Mario, Sean, O'Malley?
I don't know if they would fight because since they used to train together.
Gym?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that makes for good drama.
It does, but maybe he'd want someone higher ranked.
Because here's the thing I feel about UFC lately is there's not a lot of drama. You know what I mean? It's kind of a reason why I have not been keeping up with it as much as I used to. I still do, no matter what. I still watch all the fights on Saturday, or at least have them on the background. But I used to pay hard attention. But there's just not that drama, except for a couple fighters like Sean O'Malley or Paddy Pimblett or something like that. I feel like there needs to be more bad blood. I don't know why, but I feel like that might. I don't know. Maybe that's just the weirdo in me that just wants some sort of bad blood to be there in the fight. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I feel like it makes them fight harder or whatever. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of real rivalries. Well,
yeah, which ones are back in the day, there used to be heated, Nate Diaz and Connor, you chose a camp.
Well,
and you rooted hard for him.
Well, if we move to the next fight, when Paddy Pimblett won, one of the names that he called out was Ilya Topuria, and they've had a beef for going back 5 years from some hand sanitizer incident. Ilya Topuria, they ran into each other at a hotel, one of the fighter hotels, and they're talking shit back and forth. And I think Ilya I'm pretty sure it was Ilya who threw the hand sanitizer at Patty, or Patty threw it at Ilya and hit him in the head, and they've been going back and forth ever since. And there was a point where like Ilya was on top of the world, and it didn't make sense, like Patty Pimblett versus like one of the future GOATs. But when you look at it today, it's like, oh shit, like this fight makes more sense than ever, because like Patty's like on top of the world, arguably like the biggest star from last night, and Topuria, his star has dimmed just a little. I still think he can be competitive, but maybe not at that weight class. But I think
they're gonna have like is there a clip of the hand sanitizer, kind of like Connor in the chair at the bus type shit?
Yeah, I think there is.
Dope. Okay. So I just want to like see. I want to see stupid shit like that. I don't know why.
Yeah, but that would be a good fight, because those guys absolutely don't like each other.
That'd be dope.
But I told you privately, not a big fan of Patty Pimblett. So
yeah, you did.
In this fight,
I like a gimmick though. There's something about it. I don't know why. I love a gimmick, and he has that stupid. He's just a gimmicky dude, and I'm just like, I'm about it.
He just never really like clicked with me. Obviously when he came to the UFC, there's a lot of buzz over him. And then he fought Jared Gordon, which a lot of people, including myself, thought he lost that fight, but he got the decision. So every fight after that, I'm just like, man, how is this guy winning? This is so weird. But then it's just like, I don't know if he just has perfect timing, right? He gets Tony Ferguson at like this, like the end of his career, and Tony Ferguson, used to be like one of the scariest people in the division. Now he's an afterthought, which is sad. He subbed King Green, who's a good fighter. And when he got to Michael Chandler, I'm like, okay, great. Michael Chandler is going to be the one to finally expose Patty Pimblett. So I was so confident in Michael Chandler. And then Michael Chandler, he just gets TKO'd. I'm just like, what world are we living in where Patty Pimblett is able to TKO Michael Chandler? And then when he got to Gaethje, I was like, I'm not even going to think about this fight, because he'll probably beat Gaethje. But then to my surprise, Gaethje beats him. I'm just not a fan of him. So I picked BSD in this fight, but I was so wrong.
I get it. But that must have been really hard to watch your boy get choked out in less than 30 seconds. Dude, that was nuts.
Like, if you listen to anybody, like any professional fighter or anybody like, with knowledge, talk about how Patty could win this fight, and it's like, by taking it to the ground. And I don't know what BSD was thinking, because he threw that kick, and then he shot for a takedown, and it's just like, what are you doing? Yeah,
he put his head right in his arm, like for him to just choke him out. It was the strangest thing, and I don't know. It was over before it started.
Yeah, I saw a clip, and Patty Pimblett celebrated longer than the actual fight.
Yeah, he was dancing around like crazy. Yeah, he was jumping out of the octagon and shit. And
all the celebrities were excited.
Yeah, he's high-fiving Vince Vaughn or some shit. I don't know. Yeah, it was crazy. But that submission was crazy. Like, that was like some weird, like, Peruvian necktie combo.
Yeah, the way that
I don't know.
The way that he wrapped his legs like around BSD's back to, squeeze it tighter. I was like, this is freaking It's not your normal dart stroke.
He had his feet through his like armpit somehow. And the thing is with BSD, he was also like he was trying to get out. He was spinning. He's trying to do like the alligator death roll to try and get him off. But dude, Patty had a grip on him. Like he just had it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like he went right into Patty's arms.
Bummer.
Yeah, but he took no damage, so I think he might have a quick turnaround. He can come back.
Yeah. Who do you think he's going to take on next?
Let's go, man. Because I want Armin to get the next title shot, but is Gaethje gonna? Because Gaethje's not fighting for the rest of this year, is what he said.
Right.
So for sure, he's not fighting for the rest of this year. So maybe they give BSD Armin, because Armin needs a fight. Armin's been out for far too long.
What about Oliveira?
I think that would be a good fight for Patty.
Oh, okay, that would be good.
Patty Oliveira. Patty likes to grapple. Oliveira likes to grapple. I would like to see that fight.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Damn, that would be good.
Yeah. Okay. Give Patty Oliveira or Holloway next. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Maybe Max, since Max got kind of effed over.
Yeah. Like both their fights ended in the first round. They both took very little damage. They both could have a quick turnaround.
Yeah. They literally fight like 2 months from now.
Yeah. That's what I want for Patty, is give him Holloway or Oliveira next.
That'd be dope.
That'd
be dope.
Okay, but going to the main event, what a weird thing. I was so excited, and like I was locked in. I was like, all right, like I have money on this fight. Like, let's freaking go. Yeah, did I show you my little 2-leg combo? It was Gable Stevenson to win and Connor to win. I put down like $100 to win like $350.
But you were betting on Connor to win?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. No, like I bet on Connor because I like the fact that I thought he was coming in fresh, right? Because he's had so much time to heal, which is good. And I watched like all of his interviews leading up to the fight, which is a thing. I think that matters. And his demeanor seemed like, okay, cool. This guy seems like he's in a good headspace.
Press conferences were like the old school Connor press conferences where he's just talking mad shit like the whole time. I'm like, this is, and I thought the same thing. I'm like, this is going to be a really good fight because he seems like his head is in it, Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off again.
You're totally fine. And also, like, Max has never fought at welterweight. Connor has. So I'm like, hey, that's like another thing going for him. And Max's last performance, he got dominated. So I was just like, okay, like, I think Connor could win this one. So that's why I bet on him. But when the fight started, I was like, okay, cool.
You didn't do it Drake, did you? Where you're like betting like way too much money?
No, it's just $100.
Okay.
But watching the fight, when Connor went out with that crazy kick and it didn't work, I was like, okay, all right. Maybe he's just trying some crazy just because he wants to, come out like explosive because he's been gone for so long. But then when he did it a second time, I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, this is not.
He did the same thing. Like, it literally looked like the same kick as the first one. It was like deja vu.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, like this doesn't look good. And then when he like didn't get up right away, I was just like, oh my God, this is not a good look for Connor. And like honestly, like after the second kick, all my faith went away. I was like, I can see the writing on the wall. Something's wrong. And then I started asking myself, like, did he not take this serious? Like, what the hell's going on? And then, Max is like telling the ref, like, yo, like he doesn't want to fight. And the ref was like,
he kept throwing his hands up, like, and like what?
Yeah. Cause Max,
what? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off again, but what do you think that it might have been like I know there's like, and this probably been debunked. I know Connor's denied it, but do you think it might have been like pre-injured or something? I know that there was like video of him like kicking and doing that kick, like he was warming up with it,
Yeah.
But I don't know if he was just doing that to like maybe get his knee going, or maybe it wasn't totally torn, but like partially torn, and he was. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, this sounds weird, but I think maybe it happened, no joke, something might have has to have happened, like from like him going from the locker room to him getting to the checkpoint area, because there's that there's that clip of him taking his shoes off.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. That's what I was going to mention.
And he's stumbling, right? He doesn't put weight on that leg where they think like the knee injury is. So because he looked fine, warming up in the locker room, because like you're not throwing that kind of stuff if you have an injury, right? Like you're going to want to be chill and hide it. So I think something must have happened like on the way out, which is weird, because I saw an interesting tweet. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know how true it is, but there was a tweet from Sean Strickland. He was just like, hey, this is what happens when you take steroids. He's like, I have friends that take steroids and their body just breaks down when they do normal stuff. So this is a result of Connor taking steroids, because it's very public that there was like those New York Times article that Connor took PEDs to help with his recovery for his leg break, which like I think is fine, because he left the testing pool, he wasn't fighting, so I don't think it was a big deal, right? This guy didn't even know if he was ever going to fight again. He just wanted to be healthy again. But Sean Strickland was pointing, like alluding to the point, like, hey, like this is probably a result of that, which I'm like, damn, that does make sense, because he's older and he's been out for so long. So to come back, maybe it's just the classic case of father time is here. Your body is done, and that's that.
Done too much coke. It's just done too much coke.
I don't know if I don't know. I've never done. I've never done coke, so
neither have I. But I've heard stories about him and his little coke stuff. So maybe I don't know.
Yeah. So I think something probably just like happened like on the way out, because like I don't think he was injured.
Did he look? So did he to you look when he? So he got into the octagon, did his little like billionaire strut thing, and then when he finally got into the corner, he just didn't look right. No. To me, just in my head, I'm like, usually he does that little shuffle with his feet, and he'll get into that little crawl thing. Like he'll crouch down, and
normally
he looked worried.
Yeah, normally he would be like happy. He would look excited, because like this is what he's been like working towards, what he's been building up to. But yeah, he was like staring off into the distance. You're right. He looked concerned. And initially, like watching it live, I was like, oh, maybe it's just me. Maybe that's not that weird. Too. But then after, maybe he has jitters from not being in there for 5 years or something, But even when they like went up and they did the whole, we talked about the rules in the back, blah blah blah, touch gloves. Like usually he doesn't touch gloves, you know what I mean? Like usually he'd do something or whatever, but he'd touch gloves. I'm like, there's just so much like shit. It's like out of the norm that I'm like, what is going on? Like this is not like normal. So in my own head, like after the fight, there was so many things when I watched it back where I'm like, oh, maybe he was fucked up for the fight, or maybe something happened on the way. Maybe him doing that many leg kicks in the back, I don't know. Maybe he did something at that moment too. You know what I mean? I don't know, but there was just something not right. Yeah, it was a sad way to go out. Like,
dude,
honestly, if it were up to me, I wish he never came back, because you look at the history of every fighter that has had that leg break injury, they've never come back and have been successful.
Silva,
Weidman
didn't come back. Yeah, Weidman. Yeah, they just could not come back after that, dude. Like, fuck.
And people like to harp, like 5 years, but I always think back, I'm like, Dominic Cruz says there's no such thing as ring rust, so I'm gonna believe Dominic Cruz. So so I was like, okay, maybe 5 years won't be a factor for Connor, but it's just like, maybe it was. I don't know.
Did you? I don't know if you saw. There's a couple like inside the ring like microphones, not mic, but just like people were recording inside the ring after the fight, and I guess Max Holloway asked Connor, like when he hugged him, he said, "Why did you come back?" And then Connor like fell down and like started crying. Like, I don't know, like you said, why come back? Like, he shouldn't have came back. You know, I feel like there's like some investment thing, and like he's had like this big like come to Christ moment where he keeps talking about Jesus, and I'm like, did he think that if he prayed hard enough that like, you know, just like he would let, you know, Jesus would just win for him and he'll throw like this magical leg kick in the first round and then, you know, walk out of there? I don't know. Like, it's a lot of delusional like things I feel like Connor's in. But again, he had me convinced because, again, watching all of his interviews and watching the press conference and all that stuff, I'm like, seems like he's back. You know, it sounds like this is going to be a really good fight. You know, and too bad it wasn't. Like, and I just keep thinking about like how would that fight have gone if that didn't happen? You know what I mean? Like that could have been such a badass fight. And I wanted to see Max just beat him up. No offense, I know you bet on Connor, but I want to see Max beat him up.
Yeah, we'll never know. And you know, Max is calling for the trilogy, and I'm just like, man, I don't like, especially after the last time. Like, dude, I still like Connor. I don't want him to come back.
No, just take your money and go. Well, maybe he's having money problems. I don't know. That
could be a thing too. Every fighter. I never thought Floyd Mayweather would run out of money, and that guy is going through it right now.
Right. Or even like, who did you say? Guy that Hawaiian guy. Dang it, my brain is leaving me.
BJ Penn.
BJ Penn. There you go. Same thing with him. Like, God dang.
I don't know. It's scary because obviously, like these fighters put their lives, their health on the line, and obviously, like, I can't speak because I'm not in their position, but it's just like there's so many horror stories of fighters who end up with nothing. It's just like you wish you wish that they could avoid that, especially someone like Connor. We don't know, so hopefully he's not in that position. But I hope he doesn't end up like a Floyd Mayweather.
Dude, I know, but I feel like that's the reason why he's like maybe taking these fights or whatever. But yeah, and again, when they did the replay, you can see his knee just straight popping out of place and things getting just ripped up, you know.
Yeah, there was this. I forget his name, but there's this because I'm like a huge fan of Ariel Helwani, which I've told you about.
Yep.
And they always like consult this like actual doctor. Like they'll like reach out to him like mid fight or after the fight, and he's even been on like his show before. And they'll ask like his opinion on like what he thinks the injury is. And last night, that doctor chimed in, and he was saying that he thinks it's like a meniscus tear. Like he doesn't. It didn't look like he blew out his ACL. Like he was leaning towards just like a meniscus tear. But obviously, but who knows?
I mean, he walked out of the arena. You know what I mean? I saw him walking. It's like
he didn't even change. He literally walked barefoot. Out of the arena.
Shirt on, dude. He was still like shirtless, just walking.
Well,
his freaking ring shorts.
Well, that might have just been like the darkest moment of his life, right? Because you think like highest gate in UFC history. There's so many celebrities in attendance, and he was preaching like the Mac is back, and then to go out like that, like and his family was there, and it's just like, geez, that must have been so rough.
For real. I don't know. I think the worst moment of his life was when he got choked out by Nate Diaz. Because the worst moment in my brain for him, I was like, oh my God, I can't get that out of my head, and I can't believe that happened. Like,
yeah, because
again, in that fight, I thought he was going to win for sure.
Yeah, because that was like he was on like he's even unstoppable, right? Mystic Mac.
Yeah.
But then here comes this gangster from Stockton, California, and just showed him. Showed him some jujitsu. Is pretty crazy.
I still, in my brain, I can just see it when he was like trying, and they turned around, and then
yeah.
I know. Yeah, same thing. I mean, yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason, like Connor seemed more devastated from tonight, because usually at the end of the fight he'll do an interview with Slow Rogan, and he didn't. He left. He just walked out immediately.
Yeah, because that's another reason why I don't think he went in injured, because he seemed like in disbelief that that happened.
Right. It's a good point. Good point.
It's crazy.
What a bizarre end, dude. It's so bizarre. It was like no fight. It was almost like the Aldo fight with Connor, where we thought we were going to get some crazy war out with Aldo and Connor, and just slept Aldo in 15 seconds or whatever it was. And then everyone's like, damn, that's it. I don't know. That was kind of a bummer, but I was kind of excited for Connor at that moment, but had that same vibe where it's like, God damn, I wish there was more to this than this,
Yeah.
Do you think he comes back?
He says he's not done.
Everyone's talking about talking about it. Everyone keeps saying that maybe Michael Chandler and him, it should be the next. Or I know Max is like, no, we should do the trilogy like you said. But I don't know. Everyone keeps saying Michael Chandler and him should be next. What do you think about that, if that's the case? Because again, Michael Chandler's another guy that just keeps losing. He's on his last legs of his career, I feel, in a way. I think that's good. I think it would be a good fight, but
I think because he has one fight left on his contract, which is very public. I feel like if he comes back, because I know he says he wants to come back, but can he get healthy again? Who knows? But if he does come back, I think he should try to close one of his trilogies, because he's 1-1 against Nate Diaz, and he's 1-1 against Max Holloway. So I feel like he should fight one of those guys to close off this UFC chapter, because I don't know if he'll want to sign again, or if the UFC will even offer him enough money for him to want to come back. But because I think he wants to test his other options. Obviously, he's part owner in BKFC, and he's talked about how he wants to, or how he's going to fight in bare knuckle fighting before it's all said and done for him. So it was
all UFC fighters end up at bare knuckle on their last play.
Yeah, so
it's like the retirement plan or something.
Yeah, bare knuckle's whatever to me. I'll watch it, but I'm never oh shit, it's on tonight, I gotta tune in.
Yeah, I'm not going out of my way to watch it either. Not unless it's something crazy. Yeah. Some celebrity or something like that. I might try, that Alex Terrible. I wanted to see him get beat up.
That guy's crazy.
That dude is nuts.
But I fucking Andre Arlovsky is over there doing well. That's crazy.
For real. It is crazy. And then who else? Mike.
No,
he's a big tattoo guy.
He's not even signed with him anymore. You're on Mike Perry.
No?
Yeah.
Mike Perry. God damn, my brain sucks, bro. I'm sorry.
You're all good. Because people keep calling him out, because they just signed Darren Till not too long ago, and he had a good debut. And for years they were trying to make the Darren Till Mike Perry fight in BKFC, but the holdup was getting Darren Till in. But now that they got Darren Till in, Mike Perry's on the outs. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, what does Max do though? Think about Max right now. I think he handled it with grace. You know what I mean? I think after his interview with Joe Rogan was a little weird, but
I think Max should take the Patty fight. He should call for Patty. Go back to lightweight. Don't stay at welterweight. Go back to lightweight, fight Patty Pimblett.
But that's another thing. We didn't get a question answered from Max. How is he going to look at that weight? You know what I mean? It was his first time. he looked pretty thick too. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen a couple pictures of him leading up to the fight.
There was one photo I saw.
He's gonna get his ass kicked, dude. He's looking like he's like chilling on the beach or something.
Yeah, I saw a photo. He had like back rolls, and I was like, like, he should go back to lightweight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to see him fight Patty. That'd be a good fight.
I think so too. And yeah, I think gives him that opportunity to kind of like. I know he probably obviously Max probably made a bunch of money for like literally doing nothing, which is, I guess, cool.
Yeah, but he should capitalize on being healthy and fresh.
But you want your stock to rise, you know, like as well. I would think you don't just want like, I mean, money's good. I'm sure that's not like bad, obviously, but you probably also want your stock to go up as well, you know.
Yeah,
as a fighter.
I feel like Patty's stock rose, Max's stock just stayed the same.
Yeah, 100%. Damn. And then you think about how long they trained too before that fight. Yeah, I don't know. Months of like sacrifice just for a very anticlimactic ending like that, you know?
Well, yeah, you got to be prepared for anything, I guess.
Damn, I guess so.
All right. Well, before we wrap up, I want to ask you about some music stuff, if that's okay.
Dope, yeah.
Okay. I noticed your shirt.
Yep.
I was like, okay, wow. I was like, I like that he's plugging his own band.
I'm pulling a speed. I wear my own shit.
How did this band come together? Because following you on social media, if I'm being honest, like I was I first noticed when you posted like a drum cam, which I thought was crazy. I'm like, oh, he's got like this cool drum cam going. So that's where I tapped in. So I'm just curious, like, how this all came together.
I see all the boys in California that do their little drum cam stuff with their little Yamaha EAD10s.
Yeah.
I want to do that. I want to do that. I'll be a little chopped unk with his little drum cams, I guess, but whatever. So Joey lives in Fort Collins, which is like about 45 minutes north of where I'm at, which is about an hour north of Denver. And I think it was a Playing for Keep show. Can't remember which one. I think it was like we played with this band called Degreaser and Disaster. And Joey has always been a dude in Fort Collins that like comes out to all of our shows. Real tall dude, can't miss him. And sweet as can be. Him and his good friend James are always at all of our shows. They're just sweethearts, and I love them. And we've always been talking. And then as we're watching some of the bands, he's like, yeah, I'm starting a band. I have a bunch of music written, and he's like, I have a show coming up in a month, but I have no members to play this. Yeah, he's like, all I have is me and my vocalist James. And this kid named Tucker that plays in a band out here. He plays in like 6 bands. Wolf Blitzer, real good band. If you haven't checked them out, fucking sick, like super sick band. Anyways, but Tucker's on bass, and he's like, yeah, I'm playing guitar. Tucker's on bass, and James is singing, but I don't have a drummer or a second guitarist or anything. So, and then he just asked me at the show. He's like, would you be willing to play? And I was like, I'm already a busy dude. I already have one band. I'm 44. And that I said yes. Because another reason I said yes is he said, look, the show that's coming up is, I believe it was like his dad just passed away. And that show landed on like a really specific day for him. So the show was lined up. It's on a very important day that had to do with his dad. His dad just recently passed within the last year or so. So he's like, look, I really need somebody. And I don't know, like he kind of pulled at my heartstrings there. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. Like, yeah, absolutely, I'll do it. And he actually, because Joey's dad used to play guitar. So he actually, that night, He played his dad's guitar that night and stuff. So yeah, he asked me to be in the band, and I was like, cool, and I did. So, but yeah, and they're like the best group of dudes ever. Like the vibes in Hammerhead are like awesome. It's been so much fun to play with those guys. Yeah.
Nice. I watched a live set filmed by I hope I'm saying this right. Arika? Is that how you say their name?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even know. Yeah, no, if you haven't noticed, me and names are like
okay, well, shout out Arika, and if that's how you say it, if I'm not, I apologize. But I was watching the live set. This was from the Eyes with Salt record release show, if you can remember.
Oh, sick! Yeah. That was at a venue called Ania, which is a good friend, like one of my good friends, Steve and Audra's venue. That they just opened within like the last few months.
Yeah, it looks like a sick venue.
Dude, it's dope. It's so sick.
But I was watching it and I was like, okay, cool. Like, like I said, just tapped in. So I'm checking you guys out. And then get to the part in the set where you guys cover Folsom. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, they're covering Folsom. And I'm like, all right, I wonder what they're going to.
The only person that probably knew.
Yeah, but I was thinking like, okay, like they're going to cover like Piss Up a Rope or like one of the more like popular like Folsom songs. But you guys like go into like, all right, like, deep. You guys like really listen to Folsom, because I'm like, okay, this isn't a song that I don't think I've ever heard anybody cover. So no. I'm just curious how you guys even landed on that Folsom cover.
Oh, it's mostly me, because that's like my favorite Folsom song. Don't get me wrong, I love Piss Up a Rope. That's like my second favorite song. But I don't know, Waves of Sorrow just like speaks to my soul. I don't know what it is. And everybody else. So Joey and James are like, Fight Like Hell heads, like big time, like big time. So when Fight Like Hell split up, the guitarist Matt went to go play for Folsom. Mm-hmm. So then they turned into like full on Folsom heads, just like me, because I love Folsom so much. So, and I don't know, we were just practicing, and I was just like, dude, this song is it's like my favorite song. And I'm like, we should maybe try and cover it. I'm like, I know no one's gonna fucking know it because it's such like a deep cut, but. And even when we played it, I said, look, I know no one's going to know that. This is for me. This is mostly for me, because I just love that song so much. And if I can spread that love to somebody else, and like maybe they can hear that song or like get into that band too, I'll spread that love a bit,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, wow, this is awesome.
So I'm glad you noticed that. And I thought you were going to say the Warriors cover. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I thought you were going to mention that, but. Well, I'm glad you mentioned the Folsom one. That makes me very happy.
Yeah, check out the Warriors. Warriors is cool because I like the Warriors, but I like Folsom more.
Same.
And Hammerhead has a show coming up Tuesday.
Yeah, we have 3 shows coming up.
Okay. Yeah. Tuesday.
So we have a show Tuesday in Fort Collins at the Sound Bar, and then Wednesday in Denver at another DIY venue called D3. It's another super sick venue. And then on Saturday, we play at Pueblo at a bar. I failed to remember which one it is, but yeah. And Pueblo is like 2 hours south of Denver. But we're playing with another band called Cortez and 13 Plagues. And our boys in Cortez are super good dudes as well. Homies, if you haven't checked them out, check them out too. They're hard.
But on that run of shows, you also have another show.
Yeah.
You're for someone who's older. I didn't think you'd want to be this busy.
No shit. I don't know. It's good though. Luckily, this is a very slow week for me for work, so it lined up. Usually, it doesn't. So I'm actually kind of stoked on these. But yeah, we playing for Keeps plays on Thursday with Iced Wrist at Ania. Mm-hmm. And who else is on that bill? Dang it. There's a bunch of cool bands on that bill. Ransom Note and
Among the Bodies.
Among the Bodies. I would have never remembered. Yeah. Sorry. This is just right off the rip, right off my head. But yeah, that one, I'm very excited for that one.
Okay. And we got new music from Playing for Keeps this year, which was nice.
How do you know? Just kidding. I know. I put it out there. Yeah, we recorded 2 songs with Connor, the drummer from Mugshot, which lives like 15 minutes away, which I had no clue. So we'll probably be recording with him again. But we did 2 songs, and they're so sick. They're like 2 of my favorite songs we've ever recorded ever. So yeah, keep those. Those are going to be sick. And then Hammerhead just came out with 3 songs, I think a week ago now. Yeah, it was July 8th. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out. And then we plan on releasing an EP for Hammerhead in, I think Joey said September. So we have more songs with Hammerhead too.
Nice. Well, it's cool that you're able to stay so busy with music.
It is dope. No, I don't know. Like it became like a little thing where I'm like, okay, I'll do it on the side, but now it's like consuming my life. But I love it. I love that it is. So
yeah, because you got to keep the scene alive. Colorado hardcore.
You got to keep it. The Unk's got to show them somehow,
Yeah, because these young kids are gonna be like, "Damn, Unk can do it. I could do it too."
That's what I'm saying. I remember this band. I don't know if did you ever remember a band called The Great Commission?
I know them very well.
I don't know how well you know them. But they played here at a venue at Seven Circle. Back then it was called Blasto Man, but it's called Seven Circle now. And I'll never forget it. Like, dude, the singer was like, yeah, this is, just, for the young guys, because you don't see 40-year-olds at shows. And I remember being like a 20-something-year-old at the time, like maybe, it's like 20, like 8 or 29, being like, fuck that. I'm gonna be at shows at 40. He's like, yeah, but you don't see them. You don't see any of them. I'm like, yeah, that's true, but it's funny how often you do now see like 40-year-olds at shows. So it makes me kind of happy. And speaking of which, I mean, I'm 44 and I spin kick like a motherfucker to this day, and my knees don't blow out like Connor's does. I don't know what the fuck's going on with him. Maybe you're right with that fucking steroid stuff.
Yeah, it's all the PEDs he was taking for his health.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, this has been awesome. I'm happy you answered the call. Maybe we'll have you on in September if you're down when Hammerhead comes out with the album.
Yeah, I would like to have Joey and James on here too, if you don't mind.
They're welcome.
Dope.
Yeah.
So, and Marcos too. Oh, and I didn't mention that either. Marcos, my boy, and Playing for Keeps, was like, Joey, can my boy, because I don't know, Marcos is my dude. He's like my music soulmate. I'm like, can he play with Hammerhead, please? So they were kind enough to let Marcos play with us as well. That also plays in Playing for Keeps. So
yeah,
that's my dude.
Hell yeah. Well,
shout out Marcos.
Hammerhead is welcome on the podcast. So
thank you.
The door is open.
Thank you for letting me be number 500. That's pretty awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for answering the call. Thank you, Conor McGregor, for inspiring me to come back from vacation a little early. So
nice. Any
last words before we sign off?
Shout out Colorado hardcore. A lot of good shit's going on right now. Just everyone go to a show, on any show. There's always shows almost like every Friday and Saturday. Just doesn't matter what venue, just go to one and represent and sing along and mosh, start a band. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time. No, thank you. Thank you for being down. Everyone, go listen to Fight Like Hell. Go listen to Playing for Keeps. Hammerhead. Go watch more MMA. I want to do more MMA podcasts. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be back soon. Goodbye.